What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NFL video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section and enter your name into the $50 giveaway I do every single week on this channel. Thank you guys for joining me as always. I am excited about this game, got a good feeling on it. There are a couple things that we're gonna have to keep an eye on as the day goes on for information, but outside of that, it feels pretty damn good. So I'm not going to keep up too much of your time. We're going to go through, kind of give you guys the core, talk about other guys that we have interest in, kind of my game plan for the way that I like attacking this as of early in the day. As you guys know, I spend all day looking at this stuff, trying to find edges wherever I can. So things could change as the day goes on. But what I know as of right now, I'm going to tell y'all. Okay? So as of right now, my favorite versions that I've built have had Ramondre Stevenson at captain. The reason being is because Stevenson has consistently been getting over a 20% target share in the offense, and the game script is behind. Also, Damian Harris is out, so he's going to get every rushing carry. His usage in this game is going to be one of the highest out of any player on the field tonight. So that's why I absolutely left him at captain. He's going to get super heavily involved. He got 28% of targets last week. That's like elite wide receiver level. And the dude's going to get every carry too. So like his upside's ridiculous. I love Ramondre Stevenson. He is a fantastic option. And when it comes to the studs of the slate, Josh Allen, Diggs, Josh Allen and Diggs are pretty much the studs of the slate. Ramondre Stevenson is cheaper, much cheaper. And that's who I want at captain as of right now. On the other end, you got to play Josh Allen. You got to play Josh Allen every single week. Just what he can do with his feet. Now, the interesting part here is the Patriots. I mean, we know Belichick is, hey, he gets this team ready. And they have done fantastic over the last 4 weeks against quarterbacks, allowing the least fantasy points per game. They've just been really, really good. But this is Josh Allen. It's a whole different beast right here. In a one-game slate, you don't fade Josh Allen. Especially with just how much this team passes. First of all, they pass 67% of the time, which is one I believe is the highest in the entire NFL. They air the ball out majority of the time, and that's good because New England's really not going to let them do anything on the ground. They haven't allowed a touchdown over the last 4 weeks to running backs, so that takes Devin Singletary out of my player pool for me. I'm not interested in Singletary too much, even though the game script would tell you like Buffalo up and lean on the run. New England has been fantastic. Like I said, not allowing a touchdown to running backs over the last 4 weeks. They've been fantastic this season versus running backs. So I'm really wanting to get that pass game on Buffalo because Buffalo is so pass heavy, and I think that they're going to have some success here in certain spots. So I really want Josh Allen, of course. That's not a surprise. Now, obviously, you can go Stephon Diggs. I'm not going to put Diggs in the core just because you know to go Diggs if you have the value, if you feel good about it. And I will say, I have many versions with Diggs and Allen, of course. Here's the thing on this slate. I have loved going the studs and then finding the value because there are some value guys that I do find interesting. So Diggs is a fantastic play. The only reason I'm not putting him in the core is because you already know he's a fantastic play, and I don't really have to waste time on that or put him in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, give y'all a little something sneaky for this third core pick. Now, here's my thought process. Hear me out. Now, I would 100% lock Jacoby Myers right here if I knew he wasn't going to be on a snap limit. Now, here's the problem. He left with a shoulder injury. He said it's not a long term issue, but he's been limited in practice. He only played like 24% of snaps last week, which is very concerning. If he's going to be limited in any way, I want to go like that'll make me interested in a Devontae Parker or a Nelson Aguilar. Both of these guys are in fantastic spots against a Buffalo secondary that's allowed like the fourth most touchdowns over the last 4 weeks if we're just looking over the course of the last 4 weeks. They secondary wise, they've given up a lot of points to wide receivers. Most fantasy points in the league over the last 4 weeks to wide receivers. So I really and with the game script, obviously, I really want the pass game on New England. So I do want some receivers on New England. I'm just not 100% on which way I want to go here. Like I said, I'm going to be digging into Jacoby Myers. Um, I'm really going to be like keeping an eye on that situation because I really need to know If he's going to be limited, if he's going to get his full snap share or what. I'm not expecting him to get his full snap share. Okay? I am not expecting him to get his full snap share. The fact he only played 20, he was only able to muster up 20 something percent of snaps last week. The fact that he's been limited in practice this week, um, that tells me he might be pretty damn limited. And that's definitely, concerning. So he has indicated that he expects to play in this game, but the limited case of it at 7-2 is a little bit concerning to me. Now, the person that I think is sneaky here is Gabe Davis. Okay? Now, Gabe Davis, number one, is sneaky because ownership's going to be all over Stephon Diggs. Okay? Number two, Gabe Davis is sneaky because he plays more snaps than any other Buffalo receiver in this offense. So Stephon Diggs is going to play like 70 something percent like he always does. Gabe Davis is going to play upper 80s, low 90s like he always does. So he's going to be on the field more than Diggs, plain and simple. Diggs is going to be the focus of Belichick to try to shut down. Obviously, that didn't work for Jefferson last week. But Belichick will come in trying to stop Diggs. Okay, that's another reasoning behind Gabe Davis. Another reasoning behind Gabe Davis is that on the left side of the field where Gabe Davis lines up predominantly, they have given up a ton of fantasy points. They are bottom in the league at fantasy points allowed to Gabe Davis's side of the field. Okay? So keep that in mind. So not only is Belichick going to be focusing on stopping Diggs, but on Gabe Davis's side of the field that he lines up predominantly, they've really struggled. I believe it's Mills over there that's been struggling. And so, yeah, Jalen Mills is the one that's been over there struggling a little bit. Gave up over 20 to Adam Thielen. They just given up a good amount of fantasy points this season to that side of the field. I believe Gabe Davis is left side. I could be wrong. I believe he lines up on the left side. But yeah, Gabe Davis' side of the field is going to be a fantastic side. Okay? So that is why I'm putting Gabe in the core, because Gabe has huge upside potential. We know there's times throughout the season where Gabe Davis and Josh Allen connect for a couple touchdowns. This very well could be one of those. Okay? With Buffalo predominantly throwing the ball, with New England being so stout against the run, and Buffalo probably not being able to move the ball much on the ground. They're going to continue to throw the ball as much as they have all year. Stephon Diggs getting all the attention. Stephon Diggs plays less snaps than Gabe, so Gabe will be out there more in a more favorable individual space. Now, the reason why Stephon Diggs is still in play, and I don't want you to fully get off Diggs. This is kind of a GPP move I'm making right here in the core. In cash games, Stephon Diggs is as safe as they come, probably. You know what I mean? Like, he is the stud. I'm giving you something cheaper than Diggs and my reasoning behind why I like it to possibly get you a little sneakier tonight and give you that takedown upside. That's what I'm trying to do right now. But let it be known that Stephon Diggs is a great play. All right. But because of those reasons that I've given you, Gabe Davis is definitely on my radar. He's very interesting to me. Another guy, Isaiah McKenzie, is another guy that I have interest in. Now, Isaiah McKenzie doesn't play near the amount of snaps as Gabe Davis, though. Like, if I'm going to take another receiver not named Stephon Diggs, because Gabe Davis doesn't consistently get the target share Diggs gets. Diggs gets 38% of targets. Like, he gets a ton of targets in this offense. So if I'm predicting that Belichick's going to work his hardest to slow down Diggs and make other people beat him, then I would imagine it's going to be the guy on the field the most here in the best individual spot on that side of the field where they have been struggling. So Gabe Davis is going to be the guy that I put in the core for all of those reasons that I mentioned. Other plays that I love, Mac Jones, love him. Buffalo, like I said, secondary's been really struggling. They got Tre'Davious White back, but he is severely limited. Okay, he's not covering a ton. Like, he's not going to do any type of limiting. Don't fear him at all. Mac Jones is a solid option, especially with this game script. I absolutely love Mac running back. Some of my Buffalo love. Pair it up with Stevenson even. Like, you can 100% pair Mac Jones with Stevenson. Stevenson's pretty much a wide receiver one and a running back one, like we see with Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, those type of guys. Jacoby Myers is a big deal. Pay attention to him today. At 7-2, he is an absolute lock if he's not limited in any way and feeling great. But if he's going to be limited, he scares the shit out of me. Okay, and I would be interested in an Aguilar or a Devontae Parker. As we saw last week, Aguilar came in once Myers got hurt and wasn't playing as many snaps. Aguilar really got a high target share. So Nelson Aguilar at 4.8 is an interesting option as well versus a Buffalo secondary that's been struggling. I'm not playing either defense. Just don't have much urge in that. Not gonna play either tight end. Um, just because both teams have been fairly decent versus tight ends. But if Jacoby Myers misses, you could definitely consider like John Smith, stuff like that. Let's see. Kendrick Bourne at 2-2. I'm interested in the value that I like on this slate is New England receivers. Because of Myers being hobbled, because of the matchup being so good, I like New England receivers as value. So Kendrick Bourne at 2-2. Thornton at 400. I do like Khalil Shakir at 200 as well as a value for Buffalo. Buffalo passes a ton. They could get a little sneaky here with their guy Shakir, and maybe he could catch a couple for us at only 200. But Thornton at 400, absolutely love him. Kendrick Bourne at 2200, love him. Nelson Aguilar, definitely interesting to me if we do get definitive word on this Jacoby Myers situation. If Jacoby Myers is going to be limited, which I'm expecting as of right now, I'm expecting Myers plays, but he is limited. Okay? And because of that, you're going to see Aguilar, Devontae Parker get a higher target share than they normally get here. Aguilar looked like the go-to guy last week, so at 4.8 he is interesting, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Devontae Parker have an outlier huge game in this one, y'all. Buffalo's secondary's been bad. Devontae Parker's a big body receiver. Earlier on in the year when Jacoby Myers missed, the first game of the season that Jacoby Myers missed, Devontae Parker got a 30% target share. The next game Jacoby Myers missed, which was the next game after that, he only got 10%. So he is not a very consistent option. And Myers isn't going to miss this one, so it's definitely a risk. Because of what happened last week, I leaned Aguilar between the two because he literally got the higher target share once Myers was leaving the game. So Aguilar's interesting to me, and then the New England receivers are interesting to me. You can play either kicker. I prefer the Buffalo side probably, but it doesn't really matter. And that's about it. So Ramondre Stevenson as my captain. He's my go-to captain. He's probably not probably. He is one of my favorite plays on this entire slate with the amount of usage he's going to get on the ground, through the air, all that. Josh Allen is a lock for me. Anytime Buffalo plays, I play Josh Allen. Just like when anytime Baltimore plays, I play Lamar Jackson. Just like anytime Chicago plays, I play Justin Fields. Like you play these guys who have that rushing ability. They give you a solid floor and they have slate breaking upside. Gabe Davis is our sneaker here. For all the reasons that I previously mentioned, we'll go over them one more time. Buffalo is the most pass-heavy team in the NFL. Okay? New England has been really, really solid versus running backs, so they're probably not going to run a ton with Singletary today, or at least not going to have a ton of success with it. Stephon Diggs moves around the field. He's going to be on the left, on the right, in the slot, so they're going to move him around, and Stephon Diggs is still going to have his success. But on the side of the field that Gabe Davis lines up predominantly, New England has really struggled. Okay? Gabe Davis is going to see a lot of Jalen Mills, who has really given up a lot of fantasy points over the season. With Bill Belichick focusing in on trying to stop Stephon Diggs, at least that's what I would expect. Okay? They tried to do the same thing with Jefferson last week, so I'm not guaranteeing it's going to work because Jefferson had a huge game last week. Him and Thielen had a huge game against New England last week. So in no way am I guaranteeing that he's going to stop Diggs. And if you're playing cash games, you probably play Diggs and don't stress it. But this is a sneaky spot here because with Diggs getting all of the ownership, if Diggs has a bit of a struggle game or just an average game, and Gabe Davis goes out there and has those 2 touchdown games like we've seen many, 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 many times with this dude, it's going to be a huge night. And it's really, really, really sneaky to me. I really think Gabe Davis could have a huge game this week. There's just so many pros opposed to cons here. And then last but not least, I mean, he plays more snaps than any other Buffalo receiver. So he plays the most snaps out of any receiver on a team that throws predominantly, who has another receiver that's going to get all the attention. I mean, it just lines up as a great matchup here. Gabe Davis is bigger than Jalen Mills. He's much bigger than Jalen Mills. He's like 40 pounds heavier, like 30 pounds heavier or something. Like he's just way more big body than Jalen Mills, and he's really going to probably little boy him this entire game. Okay, so Gabe Davis, fantastic spot. And that's about it, y'all. As I said, the New England value that I like is the New England receiving core, with Jacoby Myers most likely being limited tonight. I like the New England value guys. All right, so I like Aguilar. I like Bourne. I like Thornton. All those guys as my value plays for the game. All right, go get that money, y'all. Greenlightdfs.com. As you guys know, I'll have the optimal as of what I believe with all of the news and all of the research. That'll be posted on the NFL Access page. Hit up greenlightdfs.com to get access to Week 13 right now. Let's get it. I'm out. Peace.